Oh hey, it is your friend that is unimpressed with the new Tron Ares trailer, back with some more tech tea. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here are 3 tech updates to finish out your weekend with. This week, there has been a lot of news going around social media about ads coming to Spotify's premium subscriptions. But is it really true? Here's what you need to know. I've seen no less than 3 different content creators post videos and hundreds of people posting comments saying that as soon as Spotify rolls out ads to its premium tier, they would be unsubscribing. I've also seen a number of creators make videos of possible alternatives, but why is this outcry happening? Did we really get ads on premium before freaking hi-fi? It's literally all I've wanted for years now. Well, turns out recently, Spotify had a quote-unquote issue where a number of its premium users were actually hearing ads when listening to music. Android Authority took a poll that showed around 30% of the readers heard the ads on their account, with the issue dating back all the way to February. Spotify has since then issued an apology saying this was never meant to happen, apparently. This year, Spotify has been trying to pivot its efforts to gain as many advertisers as possible. This comes after its Q4 earnings report says it's up 16% in revenue quarter over quarter. The company recently announced that it was going to utilize AI to help advertisers create and customize ads on the platform, as well as being able to view which users are logged in and engaged with their campaign metrics to better segment and target them. The company has also rolled out ads entirely generated by AI, so while there has been no confirmation about what caused this glitch, we can at least piece together that this ad initiative rollout is very close to when these problems occurred. To date, there have not been any whispers of including ads on premium subscriptions other than with podcasts, but comment below if you've seen any different and I'll go grab my pitchfork and join you. GameStop is preparing to close even more of its stores, lay off these workers, and try to use that money to buy Bitcoin. Here's what's happening. Over the past few years, GameStop has closed over half of its 6,000 stores worldwide as sales for physical copies of games have gone down drastically. Now, a lot of this isn't necessarily the fault of their own, as it is the console manufacturers absolutely hating the sale of used copies of games. Nonetheless, not even a week after our fabled Game Informer magazine announced its return, did GameStop release a regulatory filing stating that the company intends to close a significant number of its stores, although that number has yet to actually been clarified. There are currently around 2,300 stores still open for business, and each store has about 4 to 8 employees at each location. Let's say this significant number really means half. That would mean anywhere from 4,600 to 9,200 people would be losing their job in the coming months. GameStop plans to take the remaining assets from the closed stores and invest them heavily into Bitcoin. It's largely considered a defensive strategy, and the company is hoping to mimic the kind of success MicroStrategy did when it made the same maneuver. Analysts speculate, though, that since GameStop's worth is twice what Bitcoin is, the move will likely fail, but hey, that didn't stop their stock from raising about 16%, at least temporarily. For now, these stores remain open, and no further information has been released on what or when these moves would be happening. The company has also been trying to fortify its online shop with the idea that in the future, it may be its only presence, which makes me wonder, when was the last time any of us actually walked into a GameStop? Google is letting you catch Pokemon now. Here's how you can catch them all. Google is no stranger to having fun little animations when searching specific terms or keywords, but this time they've partnered with the Pokemon Company to allow you to fill your Cantonian Pokedex just by using its search engine. The animations work by searching for the names of any of the first 151 Pokemon using either the Google Search app or mobile browser, as long as you're logged in. A Pokeball widget will appear in the bottom left corner of your screen, and once you tap in it, the animation will play of the Pokemon appearing, the Pokeball being thrown, and then a message saying you caught the Pokemon. Once caught, a Pokedex will appear showing how many you've caught and silhouettes of the ones you still need. The top will also display a "Who's that Pokemon" style outline with a clue to guide you to the answer. It's super simple and cute, but that's about it. There's no reward or anything for collecting them all. Not now, anyway. There's also no real reason why this exists. The Pokemon Company released a video announcing this partnership, with the only real connection it has being that recently Google announced that Pokemon TCG related keywords were of the top ranked keywords in the world as far as search volume is concerned. My guess is that this is just a fun little thank you between the two for us feeding into the current madness that is going on between new expansions coming out and trying to beat scalpers to the punch. So go catch them all, or search them all anyway, and quit watching grown adults open Pokemon cards online. They're a lot of the reason why we can't find any of them in stores. And finally, I have no other news announcements, but I just want to rant a little. Does that sound cool? We're friends, so let's sit crooked and talk straight. Well, as straight as I can anyway. My Switch 2 videos have absolutely popped off in comparison to the normal 5 views I get, and the overwhelming consensus is that everyone is super pissed about the price of the console and its games. So let's start with the console. And I hear you, I get it, it's super understandable. The original Switch was released for $300 and you could get the Lite version for like $200. It was pennies compared to the other big name consoles released, but it was also a fraction of the power. One of the bigger arguments is that the PS5 digital version is cheaper than what the Switch 2 will be, which you're not wrong. There are some bigger differences between the two, which I think are important to call out though. For starters, the PS5 digital version would not let you play any of your hard copy PS4 games without an add-on for a disc reader. An add-on that costs $80 freaking and you can only buy from Sony's website. We also have a bigger elephant in the room, which is that the Switch 2 will come with a 1080p 120 FPS screen. For comparison, the Steam Deck, which starts at $399, only has a 1280 by 800 resolution, which can get 90 FPS at max. It's also not as powerful, and you have to spend an additional $150 to get one with higher storage. The ROG Ally X has the same screen specs, but don't even get me started on that price and the build quality. The point is, for what it is, $450 is kind of a good buy. My gripe isn't with the console itself. No. I want to talk about the real issue here. It's games. Game manufacturers have been kind of whispering about increasing the prices on games for years now, since it takes a lot more sales to recoup what it costs to make a game, but I would have assumed Sony or Xbox to be the one to break that news to everyone. But Nintendo? You want me to pay $100 after tax for Donkey Kong that looks like he hasn't slept since he was throwing barrels in 1981? We would need the return of Chunky or Tiny Kong to make that feel better than it does for me right now. This is $30 more than the Switch games are currently, and when your console is the best one designed for kids, asking parents to pay more for the same is real rough. That's not even the worst though. Oh, no. I want to talk about the most heinous part of all, the f***ing Switch 2 editions. Because you see, we already pay $70 for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom separately, two games which, years after the first one's release, still retains about 90% of its value on shelves. But now you want me to spend even more to unlock upscaling and higher frame rates? Something which is literally just an easy patch. Nintendo, I'm going to hold your slimy small hands when I say this. You're out of your minds. Sony and Microsoft welcome older titles from previous consoles with free upgrades. For free! Also, what does that mean for me just loading up Tears of the Kingdom on my Switch 2? Will performance be throttled when I know it could naturally achieve even higher frames thanks to graphics without the $20 upgrade? And Pokemon ZA comes out months after the Switch 2 release, and you're gonna throw that in there too? The console price I get and the higher game prices, I can understand, even though the world just assumed that GTA 6 was going to be the one to test it out, but Switch 2 editions are the only lever I think we as consumers of these products can help Nintendo pull back on. It's 100% a money-making tactic, and in this comedy, it's absolutely capital B bananas. Anyway, that's enough. Thank you to the few that listened all the way to the end of this. If you did, comment underneath your visceral frustration so I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. I'm also just shy of 200 followers, and I know that seems like a small amount, but it's a lot for me, and I appreciate all of you, and I'm excited to see all of the notifications when I get every day from viewers joining my little tech family, so thank you. If you like these videos, share them with your friends, and if you don't, send them to people you hate. I don't care, views are views. Oh well. That's all I have for now. I'll see you back here on Wednesday for some more tech tea.